a look at these lines outside a US bank that has collapsed. Check it out. Customers eager just to try and get their hands on their own cash as quickly as they can. Now there is talk that closures over there could force the RBA here to stop raising interest rates.
Yeah, that's right. Let's bring in Australian Financial Review economics editor John Keogh in Canberra. John, good morning. Some experts are even forecasting a rate cut later in the year. How would that work?
Yes, morning guys. Look, this is an extraordinary turnaround. We've obviously been expecting more interest rate rises. There's now money markets, which are essentially professional investors who bet on interest rate movements. They're betting that there'll be no more further interest rate rises in America and also in Australia, and even factoring the possibility of rate cuts. And this is all because of the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. That's fueled financial instability in America. We, of course, saw US regulators bail out depositors in the last few days. Our own stock market yesterday fell a pretty heavy 1.4%. So there's betting now that the central banks will have to pause interest rates.
And if you're a betting man, where would you go?
Oh, look, I find this hard to believe, Sarah. Barring a sort of big financial blow-up over the next 3 weeks before the Reserve Bank meets, I still think that the case to raise rates is going to be in their favour. I mean, even in the US overnight, we saw a fairly strong 6% inflation figure. The Reserve Bank sort of signal it still has a bit more work to do before it pauses. So unless we get a financial blow-up overseas, I don't think that's that likely in Australia, by the way, I think the Reserve Bank will hike rates at least once more.
There's nothing to say either way, even if they did reduce rates. That banks would pass it on. What do you think is going to happen then realistically in the next couple of months? Because I think more than ever people are just really sweating on any increase at all.
Yeah, well, an important factor for the Reserve Bank, Carl, will be the jobs data this Thursday. Now, we're expecting a big rebound in employment in February after a soft January. If that didn't materialise, if we saw weakness in the jobs market, I think the RBA would be tempted to pause. But the other things they're going to be looking at pretty closely, inflation, consumer spending and business activity. There was a NAB survey out yesterday, actually, still showing that business activity and inflation pressures remain pretty solid. So I think the Reserve Bank will look through this in the short term, barring a big financial blow-up.
You pumped for the AFL season to start tomorrow? Bombers. I mean, and you must have the dank rub out, the oranges peeled.
Oh, look, it's if you're an Essendon supporter, Carl, you never get too optimistic this time of year. I remember we're playing Hawthorn in round one, and a couple of seasons ago we were about 50 points up in about half time. We ended up losing the match against the Hawks.
Heartbreaking.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, we live in hope. Good on you, mate. Thank you.